Okay. So
Start.
yeah. So okay, go.
We'll just see. Yep, it's coming up again.
Perfect.
Yep. Okay. All right. We're live.
All right.
So, welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and creatures of the night.
Boys and
Um,
girls of all ages.
that'll work too. Okay. So this is the first official episode of our podcast. This podcast will become your tomb. This is mostly an excuse for me to hang out with my brother, listen to music that we like. Um, the idea is we wanted to, or I wanted to go through all of Sleep Tokens music and just discuss it from our professional and personal perspectives. I'm a musician and a music teacher. My brother is a poet and a philosopher and many other things. And so I thought it could be an interesting conversation, at least for us. And if you end up enjoying it, then awesome. But we're mostly just here to hang out.
Yeah.
So
And
the idea is, sorry, you go ahead.
no, 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 you can. No, you're
I
fine.
was just say the idea is we're gonna start all the way at the beginning of Sleep Tokens discography. So we're gonna begin with the EP one, and then just work our way through chronologically and see if we can piece together something not completely nonsensical.
Yeah, and something that might add some value for either people who are really enthralled with Sleep Token's lyrics, the poetics that are in them, the mythologies that are embedded in them, what they're doing, and kind of mixing old linguistic and poetic modes together in kind of very new, interesting ways.
Mhm.
And the same thing for if you're a lover of music, Owen will tell you all the musical stuff you need to know to win on trivia night, if it's Sleep Token trivia
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
night.
I'm gonna try
No
to
promises, no
keep the.
guarantees.
I'm gonna try to keep the musical conversation as accessible as I can. Um, because I mean I teach music theory and stuff like that, so that's kind of the way that I think about music can tend to be a little nerdy and analytical, which some people will probably like that, but um, I think that maybe like bit by bit as we go through this, we can also kind of build up a vocabulary of useful terms for understanding music and poetics and all of that stuff, so that we can kind of converse on a more advanced level, or however you want to say that. So,
No, absolutely. Too. Yeah, I'll try to avoid references to Greek and Roman mythology. Like everybody knows what I'm talking about at the beginning. Maybe people will build up to
yeah, I
that
think
at some point.
we're gonna need it though. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very cool. Well, um, I think that kind of does it for preamble. I think if we're ready, we could just jump right into
Yeah.
the first song.
We'll record like a better, we'll have like a stock intro too, and we'll be all jumpy and be like, "Hi, it's Aaron. Hi, it's Ewan. Guess what we're doing today?" Something like that. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
less.
I wanted to just sort of at the beginning of everything kind of lay out the idea, and then we'll get a
Absolutely.
format going and probably
Yeah.
have some theme music or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But today it's just we're just hanging out.
We're just making sure this actually would work if we did.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So, let's see. I'll switch over. If everything works, I should push this button, and now we're small, and there should be in a second there will be a music
The
video.
big white thing.
So we're starting with Thread the Needle, track 1 on 1, the album, the EP, and there's a music video for the very first song. So, here we go. And yeah, we'll sort of stop and comment along the way if we feel the need.
Bury me inside this labyrinth bed. We can feel that time is dilated. We can spend the night in fascination. You can thread the needle time and time again. You tied the lights down. Come on, I'm find out. You tied the lights down. Come on, oh, I'm find out. Something to confide in, something to erase. Just look where we're lying, invisible space. We can spend the night in fascination. You can thread the needle time and time again. You tied the lights down. Come on, I'm find out. You tied the lights down. Come on, I'm find out.
So I actually had not seen the music video for that before. I didn't even know there was one. I was just listening to the song,
Oh yeah.
like in preparation for this.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh, huh. It's not just one of the lava lamp ones from Atlantic. So I
Right.
was like, I should probably just take this in.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I had not even asked about that, and I
Oh,
didn't
it's
didn't
fine.
realize that I just sprung that on
That was a
you.
pleasant surprise. You're like, there's a music video. I was like, oh, there's a music video. And
Yeah.
then I figured it would be one of the, you know, other ones, but it was a fully produced one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty high
Full
quality
on.
too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think like the music video does a pretty just obviously, I mean, even without the music video, there's very much something about ritual in the song. Like there's that very ritualistic sense to the song. The video really drives that home. And I think I don't know, I think this thing is really neat. What was that?
Mm-hmm. What was what?
I saw like my pictures like flashed out in the back. Anyway, oh well.
Oh, weird. Um.
It was yeah, it's probably on my end. But we'll just like the ideas of something that's repetitive, something that's comforting or edifying or necessary for like human life that's being kind of turned into this big like production, right?
Mm,
Um, that but there are like certain I don't know certain elements of it you have to get through. Like you can't leave it incomplete, and you get kind of trapped in it and labyrinth like sped around in it.
mm.
So I think that's something that the video kind of did a really good job of like enacting. The lyrics are doing a good job of like poetically as well as just sonically with the sounds of the words.
Sonically with the sounds of the words.
Well, I would be hard to do it sonically with the look of the words, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if you meant like, oh, there's a
What?
specific like some kind of a tool, some alliteration or something like that. That's kind of
Yeah, with like alliteration and like the way that the rhymes are contained in the words.
mm,
And this is something that's Vessel One does a lot is the rhyme does not always come from the way the word would look on the page, but the way that he pronounces the certain word, the way he accentuates certain syllables that are even mid-word,
sure.
and that's kind of neat.
Yeah. That's fair.
So what about the song itself?
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely there are some pretty contrasting sections in this, and it kind of sets up the trajectory for Sleep Token as they mature as a group, as songwriters, as whatever. Because they're sort of known for like genre mixing now, and this is sort of like, I don't know, like some ambient something or other, and then like metal, kind of like, you know, genty riff sort of a thing. Um,
Proper metal.
Proper metal. Uh, yeah, and I mean, I guess to sort of start the music terminology and
Hmm.
conversation, all that kind of stuff. I mean, just to kind of set some groundwork for future things to talk about, maybe. Um, I'll say things like what key the song is in, or if it's even in a key, because yeah. So what, and I should probably describe what that means. So, yeah,
The
in
floor is yours.
music,
Go ahead.
I'm sure
Just
that
basic. No.
most people have probably heard someone say something like, "Yeah, let's do this one in the key of E flat," or "that song is in X key," whatever. What that is referring to is there's a collection of notes that you are allowed to use in
Well,
order.
most people have probably seen a piano in their lives, at least on TV.
Sure. Yep.
So there are keys on the piano, notes on the piano, and they're kind of maybe that's a way to shoot it. I know it's not exactly right.
Maybe that might be confusing because they're thinking about like piano keys and then a musical key. I don't know.
All
Maybe that's
right.
helpful.
Are they related?
No, I mean
Oh.
the not really. I mean, sort of. So,
Okay, well,
like in the way that musical system is organized, at least in Western music and the different musical styles that are historically influenced by Western music, um, we assign names to notes using the first 7 letters of the alphabet, and then there are 5 other notes that are referred to as sharps or flats. So, for example, we use A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then you could have like a C and then a C sharp. And it'd be good if I had like some kind of a visual representation to go with this.
Ah,
But I don't. I'm not really.
maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe. As
But
we're talking, I'll put us up big. We'll get used to this
okay.
whole thing.
I know that's okay.
Yeah. So, for example, maybe if you can hear the piano, so
Yep.
on a piano, the white keys are arranged so that if you only play the white keys, you're playing in the key of C major. Okay. So this is a oversimplification, but major keys and major chords, I haven't defined that term either, sound happy. And probably most people have heard like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, or seen The Sound of Music or something like that. And that's another way of referring to this same scale, the notes in this scale. So this is the sound that we're all probably at least somewhat familiar with. So that would be a major scale. A minor scale sounds a little bit more sad, and you can adjust certain things in it to make it sound a little bit. So we'll talk about what those things are as we go. But this particular song is in the key of B major. So B as in boy. So all that means is that the notes have been adjusted so that if you start on B, you get that same sound. But I'm starting on B. This is the note B. This is the note C. But I can adjust those things so that they have the same character, but starting on a different note. And the collection of notes that you get when you do that shift, that is what it means to be in a key, to be playing music in a key. So hopefully that's a cogent
So
explanation that's useful enough to where I can say this song is in the key of B for most of it, for where it's going through all of these like ambient, most of the storytelling with the lyrics that's going on, that stuff is happening in the key of B. And
right.
then when it goes into these more eerie sounding, heavy guitar riff kinds of things, it does a really interesting sort of shift musically. Uh, and this is, one of the things about Sleep Token that I like a lot is they do these weird things that you wouldn't really see in a lot of pop music and rock music and that kind of stuff. Um, so they go into this is another thing for another conversation, but I'll just say it and put it out there. So then they shift into a scale. It's called B harmonic major, and what that does is it takes one of the notes in that B major scale and it shifts it so you end up with this collection of notes that sounds like that. And like that plus a super low tuned electric guitar with all the distorted tone gets you that like weird sort of I'm floating in between worlds kind of vibe.
Right.
And the note that is adjusted in that scale is the sixth note in the scale is just lowered 1/2 step. It goes from being the note G sharp to G natural.
Right.
And that's how you get that. So
I'm sure, like, if all the terminology that's confusing to anybody, I'm sure they'll already have Chat GPT'd it or Googled it by the time we finish explaining it. So,
and I encourage that. And
yeah,
then I mean, hopefully people will watch the videos and we can build up some kind of a conversation where
absolutely.
and maybe like start like a little dictionary or something like that for
Yeah, or even
terms,
like,
I don't know.
or as we go on and actually get people like watching the lives, right? Like we'd have people on live chat being like, "Hey, what the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, and
And we
that
can like take a minute and like do a little thing. I think that's what we kind of hope to eventually happen.
yeah, yes, that's that would be ideal. So,
Yes, sir.
I think
So I
maybe
just
yeah, go ahead.
one last thing I wanted to say is just the difference kind of between the lyrics as I read them and the way the video was put out, right?
Hmm.
Were just a little bit different. Like the same, I think the element of ritual is still there,
Yeah.
but in my reading of this, just the lyrics and hearing the song without the video,
Hmm.
um, the ritual is a lot more like pleasant and like uplifting and life-giving. I guess a video is kind of too, but it doesn't have quite the whole occult vibe.
Hmm.
So I just thought this was very much like like, I mean, sleep is a ritual that we do like every night. This was a very good, like, kind of description almost in the lyrics, at least, of
Hmm.
the relation that we have with sleep or with, the goddess sleep or with the idea of sleep or with the idea of things that are kind of like that.
Yeah. Well,
And so
that's an interesting point. I think that yeah, that's
I'm
something
not
that
saying
we're
that I'm
gonna.
not saying the movie could not also, I mean, the video could not also be doing that, but in a totally like
Well, yeah,
weird way.
right. No, I was gonna say I think that makes a lot of sense to me because like as we will see as we go through stuff that they're like constantly dealing with this juxtaposition of like the necessity and some kind of like being drawn into this thing and desiring whatever is going to be gained with the ritual, and then also being like terrified or disgusted by what's going on, and this sort of like holding all these things together and just like I don't know, expressing and making sense of
No, that
what
makes sense, don't it?
what's
And also how sleep is kind of this one realm or unconsciousness in general, whether it's on some sort of like mind-altering substance or sleep or whatever, right? It's the idea of like not being completely in like you're kind of in the presence of or outside of your own self and the presence of things that are not entirely beyond like either reason or control. And so it's this kind of vulnerable place as well as this like kind of oddly empowering place where you have, but but you have to leave it, and then maybe you gotta go back, maybe you don't, and that's kind of the thing.
yeah. No, that's
So I think that's what I have for the needle.
mm-hmm. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know if I have anything much else to contribute to that. I think probably what we'll end up doing as we go through other stuff is maybe like callbacks or something like, oh, that was the thing that we saw.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, back then. Because right now, other things I would have to say wouldn't really make any sense, and I already did that with music stuff, so rather
Sir,
not.
you've hit your limit, sir.
Yeah. Um, cool. And then as we go through, also, I've been digging around, and I found like a collection of small interviews and stuff that Sleep Token has done. Because
Yeah,
I mean, we haven't really prefaced this at all, like why Sleep Token and who are Sleep Token. Just kind of assuming that people who find this video are gonna already know that stuff, but just
probably, but they're sweeping the nation.
they're sweeping the world, or at least a
Yeah.
big chunk of it. The drummer won a Grammy last week.
Was he wearing his mask in the audience, or did he
I didn't
go?
watch. I don't
I
know the
didn't watch
news.
either. It'd
I
been
just
great if he would have just kept the mask
saw
on.
the news. Well, I mean, he definitely keeps the mask on for like any appearances he's done. He's been doing like a lot of live drum performances at like conventions and stuff like that,
That's
and
awesome.
always has the mask on.
I had
So
no idea.
yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, we definitely incorporate some of that and like add little Easter eggs and stuff.
yeah. So I guess what I'll, if I may, before we
Mhm.
go on to the next songs, I don't know if
You
we have a
may.
whole lot else to say. So this is a pretty short interview from May of 2017, kind of like
Oh, if you may, ha ha ha, from
eh,
May 20, yeah. Clever.
That was not intended, but thank you.
You're
Um,
welcome.
so this is an interview that they did with Metal Hammer, which is a like a metal online magazine type of thing.
Oh, okay. I
So
thought they were like a blacksmith smithery, and they're like,
yeah, they're just talking to
yeah,
the hammer,
hammer.
which to
I
each their
mean,
own. Um, so the idea here is that um, in Sleep Token, when they perform live, there are four members of the band, and then sometimes they'll have um, singers, backup singers with them, and then on the last tour, they also had like a saxophone player, like yeah. Um, but
cool.
the main two members of Sleep Token are Vessel and Two, or Vessel One and Vessel Two,
Hmm.
who are, I think my understanding is that Vessel One writes the lyrics and most of the melodic and harmonic stuff, and Two is the drummer,
Mm.
percussionist, and they write the songs, and then when they play live, because they can't do all those parts with just two people, they bring along more band members.
Right.
Um,
And like maybe saying something to you really briefly before we go to the next track is like not necessarily the methodology, but just how the studio albums we're getting they're very heavily processed, and so you can have two people making, a track that or a song that has 18 parts to it and 18 tracks that overlay each other and like interlock.
yeah, right, right, and I think also I'll just maybe return to this as we go also, because we'll talk about the production and all that stuff, but for the EPs and the
Mm.
first two full albums, the producer is this guy named George Lever, who has a YouTube channel. I think it's
Oh,
called
cool.
George Lever G1, and he does like a day in the studio. Here's what I'm working on, sort of things. Walks through some of the stuff he's done for productions, or like this is how I process a guitar tone type of thing. Um,
Oh, wow.
and he was putting out. It's been a while since he put out a video. I think 'cause he'll go through these like ebbs and flows of when he's posting stuff, but he
Hmm.
has put stuff up like during the times when he was producing the Sleep Token albums, and it's sort of interesting to see like he's talking about projects. You're like, oh, is he talking about?
Wow, interesting that he okay, so I was gonna think the opposite. I was thinking that he would be posting like after he gets done with the production of a studio album, he'd be like, okay, now I'm gonna,
Like talk about it or what?
yeah, talk about like, okay, here's what I did, but the fact he's actually kind of doing it like in media res, like while he's doing it,
Yeah, and I think
that's really neat.
it is really neat that that's the approach that he takes, but also because he's like Sleep Token try to remain anonymous whenever he talks about them. Like for a while, whenever anyone asked him to say anything about Sleep Token, he would just not say anything,
It's like,
and kind of
no answer. Next question.
bit by bit, he's sort of started answering some questions and is just really careful to keep their identities secret.
Yeah.
So it is kind of hard to pick through and figure out like if he's talking about Sleep Token. But yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. We're not.
but you can definitely see like his influence on the way that their earlier music got shaped, and he
Hmm.
also produced another British band called Loathe. There's a song that will work in here along the way that is like a collaboration between Sleep Token and Loathe that he
Nice.
also produced. Really, really good song.
So do you know off the top of your head if he produced this album we're doing right now?
He
One.
did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes, he did. Um, so as we're going through and talking about production stuff, I mean, we'll kind of see he's known for producing bands that do these like genre mixing things that like they have kind of like a foundation in metal and like more hardcore music, but incorporate like EDM or R&B or all the other things that Sleep Token also does. So it's kind of pretty cool.
That was awesome. Really cool. Really
Yeah.
cool.
Um, okay, so this interview thing that I was going to bring up from Metal Hammer. So there's just like introduction to Sleep Token, basically. So I'll just kind of read through it quickly, if I may. It's pretty
Oh
short.
yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
I thought you had a video of it, but okay, you
Nah,
can read
it's
it. You
just
bet.
yeah, it's just this. It's just
Oh,
me talking.
well, go ahead.
And this is gonna be a little bit later on in the process. This is from when the next EP came out, but this still is kind of
Well,
introducing.
not to the drummer,
Not
to
to the
the
drummer,
EP.
to the EP.
Okay, just want to make sure we knew.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a parallel there. They have two EPs and then
Two
Vessel one and
vessels and
two.
then two.
I don't
Uh,
know. Okay. So the anonymous collective known as Sleep Token are premiering their new video for Calcutta exclusively with Metal Hammer. So that's for the future. We're gonna watch that. Taken from their upcoming EP 2. It's an odd and unique mix of technical metal and expansive indie soundscapes, but that's not the only bizarre thing going on. Dot dot dot. Fronted by the masked, secretive figure known as Vessel, Sleep Token worship and commit themselves to the ancient deity known as Sleep, although we have been told, quote, no proper translation can cover it. So Sleep is like it's a transliteration of the ancient god's name, like Cthulhu or something.
Especially like Yahweh, but a little
Right.
different.
Uh-huh. To try and gain some kind of grasp on what Sleep Token are and who is behind the mask, we had a quick chat with the person known as Vessel to try and figure out. Question: what is the story behind Sleep Token? Here's the answer. How we got here is irrelevant as who we are. It is as irrelevant as who we are. What matters is the music and the message. We are here to serve Sleep and project his message and his.
Yeah. Hmm.
Interesting.
Uh,
I think like the gender of Sleep fluctuates as we go
yeah.
through.
I would imagine. I don't think
Yeah,
it's.
right. So, next question: who is Sleep? How did an ancient deity find himself in the UK music scene? Answer: he is everywhere at all times. Vessel encountered Sleep in a dream, with promise of glory and magnificence if Vessel followed him. The UK is old. Centuries of lore lay buried here. This land has power if only you knew how to use it. Next question. What
Hmm.
is the meaning behind the
No
markings on your
follow up on
mask?
that at
No,
all.
no follow up. Just all right. On to the
You're
next.
like,
Like, yeah, okay,
well, I'll
sure.
take that.
Um,
Like, how do I access it?
right. No,
No, nothing. Just
no,
no,
no interest.
no.
Just like, yeah, okay, dude. Okay.
I can imagine maybe the interviewer's like kind of slowly backing away a little bit.
By the end of the interview, they're at opposite corners.
Exactly. Like, what do you do for fun?
I
Sorry, go ahead.
sleep. No, what is the meaning of the markings on your mask? So at this point, it was the mask that we saw in that music video. The
Yeah.
mask has gone through transformations, but that one in the music video that we just watched. So the marking is it's an acronym of Sleep Token and reads as ST in ancient runes.
Hmm.
What do you all wish? Why do you all wish to remain anonymous? Answer: our identities are unimportant. Music is marketed on who is or isn't a band. It's pushed, prodded, and molded into something it isn't. Vessel endeavors to keep the focus on his offerings. So the music is thought
The
of as
music is what
an
matters.
offering
The
to
music is an
Sleep.
offering. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So every performance, every recording, all it's all a ritual offering to
To sleep.
yeah. Next question. Yeah. Do you worry people will liken you to bands like Ghost? Answer:
That's
no.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Ghost?
Right. The only comparison that could be drawn with Ghost is our anonymity. Our verses are a token crafted to magnify and embody the multitude of emotion that writhes in our subconscious. Sonically, our voice is rooted in the resonation between the notes and your emotion. Take our hand.
The interviewer's like, I don't feel comfortable.
I'm gonna head out.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Okay. And then there are a few
Oh,
more like specific
no, no.
questions about like the album Calcutta. Um,
Oh, we can maybe cover that when we get there.
yeah, yeah. So there's not really like a specific. They ask a question about your Facebook page states nothing lasts forever. Is Sleep Token a temporary vehicle for the persona known as Sleep? And the answer is life is fleeting, and this too shall pass. But for now, we praise him.
Okay, I know. Okay, so I really think that this interview was conducted by them emailing them some
Yeah,
questions
yeah,
and then writing responses because there's no way that this is could happen without follow-ups and them without Vessel One not getting the wording quite so precisely ambiguous.
right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
it is. It's funny, but makes sense for all
They have good schools in Britain.
the. Apparently,
You learn to be witty. I
yeah, you
hear.
do. Yeah, here wouldn't know for myself.
Wouldn't know I'm an American educated boy.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I like that. I like that. I like the grounding of everything. I like especially the idea of the offering. Like, the music is the offering, and also the point about the connection between like the sounds and the lyrics and your emotions is where this kind of interaction, is kind of this nexus of what the music is trying to do between the artist and the viewer or listener.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. I mean, it. Yeah. Hopefully, does a bit to kind of set the stage and work our way into this.
Well, I
Um.
think that's a good description for music in general,
Yeah, I think it's a
but
description for what we would hope music is. It could
they
be.
have a god behind them, so they're gonna do it. Damn it.
Right. Right. Um. Yeah. I think. Okay. Yeah. I'm just thinking if I have anything else to say about Thread the Needle before we move on. Um. I mean, like all
Hmm.
these themes of well, these contrasting themes of, like you said, you felt that this song was like more of a kind of like light-hearted, like ritual to life or something like that, and then the
Not
music.
lighthearted, but not like raising zombies from the dead.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
Like I'm very sorry. Like so, let me I may be clear. It was lighter hearted than the video made it out to be,
right.
but more like I would say like more sensual, more
Mm-hmm.
erotic in a sense, more
Yeah.
about like going to bed either with somebody or with the hope of meeting somebody. It was like a longing for the experience of the ritual and
Mm-hmm.
hoping the ritual provide you what you want when you give you its offering.
Right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
that doesn't have to be like, what the video predicted. I pictured it more as like kind of somebody like either missing a loved one who's not there, like putting a candle on the bedside, or going to sleep hoping to reunite with the loved one, either a deity or someone who's gone. There's a longing in the song for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and and I just yeah, I don't think it. I mean, again, they're not contradictory, but just I don't think it necessarily needs to be that kind of ritual.
Right. 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 Okay. That. Yeah. That.
But
That makes sense. Right. Okay. Cool. So thanks for clarifying that. Um, what I was gonna point out is this is definitely a theme that we're gonna see like all over their music. But this like this existing in a liminal space in this transitional point between light and dark and being awake and asleep and this sort of
or dead or alive.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. And that's sort of like the area that they're inhabiting to do all of the work that they're doing, and it's kind of dealing with the conflicts and everything that arise from trying to navigate that space and like make this connection with sleep.
Right. I think the good point too that you just brought up there is like how much of human experience or our knowledge of the world is binary. It's you're awake or you sleep. You're right or you're wrong. You're dead or right. It's hot or cold, right? As we know what those like polar opposites are, but we don't ever really like exist in one of those spaces at a single time.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, supposedly we're alive, we're working towards death,
Sure.
but like, so are we like, is a baby full? I mean, a baby's alive, but they get more dead as they go along. Like, it's hard to, I mean, everything's kind of somewhere between those 2 points, and that's the liminal space. Liminal means on the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the Latin, I don't get that, limen, which is like the threshold, the door to the place you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So before you cross the doorway into the house, you're outside, or you inside, you outside, you're inside. So that's kind of the where the word liminal comes from.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can impress your friends at the coffee shop now.
Mm-hmm. They don't care. But
No, damn it.
they're like, God, he keeps
Or
using
there
that
goes
word.
my afternoon
Get
plans.
it Well, maybe you have better coffee shop friends.
I
But,
don't
oh, oh, feller. Um,
know.
yeah. Okay. So, um, I think that's kind of it. It's like also, I mean, this song fittingly being the first song that they officially put out as Sleep Token. It's this like come on and find out. It's this sort of like
An invitation.
yeah, well, it's an invitation. It's also them sort of like stepping into this relationship with sleep that they're unsure about. Like right from the beginning, it's sort of it is that okay, well, maybe something amazing is to be gained from entering into this relationship, but also I have to crawl around in the the
Yeah,
pentagram.
don't do that. You'll get
Don't
shot
crawl
and
around the
arrested.
pentagram.
Don't even
Uh,
try.
not that you're
Pentagram, yeah.
yeah. Right, the pentagram with a heart and fucking, making offerings like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And also it's kind of like if you could even look at it through the lens of that case, the like you've been offered, unlimited cosmic power to give the world the message of sleep, and he's gonna follow you now, and you said, okay, here we go. And so, okay, here we go.
right, right. Okay, sorry, I was just setting up the next video.
Oh, you're fine. I
There
see
is
it.
there is a music video for the next one, but this is much more like the
The one
music
I was
videos
talking
you're
about.
familiar with. Yeah, there's still stuff to be gleaned
Gleaned
from
from
it,
it.
but
Cool.
yeah,
So I have a question too. Did they produce that music video for Thread the Needle
hmm.
as part of its release, or did they make that subsequent to it after they kind of hit it off with one of the other albums?
Uh, I don't have a. I'm not completely sure about that, but I'm pretty sure they came out pretty close together. I don't think it was like produced after some success was gained. They went back and made it. I'm pretty sure that it
Well,
came out. I don't know. I can look that up. I have the
you
internet.
could, but I mean, it's a very high value podcast, high production value podcast, if you couldn't tell people.
Yeah. We're real professionals. Um, released in late 2016.
So we have 2016 for Through the Needle too. So not long after.
Yeah, not long after.
Cool. That's awesome. I think that makes it way better to me.
Yeah. So I mean, this is just what's coming up on the internet. So take this all with a grain of salt. But the actual like studio production of the EP happened mostly throughout 2015, and then that actually came out. Things got published in 2016 with that video.
Yeah.
Also coming out then.
What the full release of the EP looks like.
Yes, and then I am so very prepared. The guy who produced all of their music videos, not directed, did all
Mm.
was in charge of their music videos, the ones that actually have like real videos and not just some kind of a visualizer or something.
Hmm.
um, he's like a legit filmmaker, mostly does like horror movies and stuff like that. I think he did some like one of Rob Zombie's movies or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But he also gave an interview last year at some point that was pretty interesting, and they talked about like how the production of some of the videos and stuff. So
Neat.
once we get into that, I'll actually have names and provide links and
No, it sounds good. Yeah, this was kind of
yeah.
a free form thing right now as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know we'd be talking about interviews before we started this today, but yeah, no, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
What?
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
ready for the next one?
Yeah, Fields of Elation.
Yeah, Fields of Village. So here we go.
All right, rock and roll.
Very professional.
The daylight recedes and you listen. There's
Okay.
Very nice.
Yes.
So that music video had like something to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't like just one shot of a mountain with a rune
Right.
superimposed over the top.
That
uh,
kind of just like slid across it.
right.
Yeah.
There's a little more, but yeah, yeah. Um,
So
so
I guess like lyrically, it's very interesting what the song's doing. It's I mean you have this kind of again the weird, not weird, but the very interesting contrasting combination that we get in the first stanza, especially or the first verse. The idea that it buries hours like death in motion. No one else can pull me out. The fields of elation. So we get the idea like buries me in hours of death, which is usually negative connotation, but the death is moving now. And then we have the flip immediately in the same verse to the positivity that goes with the rest of the song, really. No one else can pull me out. The fields of elation, quiet and loamy. Loamy, to those who don't know, it means like um, ground that is very fertile, like ground that any plant can grow on.
mm,
It's also a British word, so that's why they use it without any kind of care to the rest of us Anglosphere folk. But it's a beautiful word, though. But the idea of a field that's quiet and loamy is like an idyllic, soft, relaxing place.
mhm,
Um, and I think too, the last thing I'll say about like the lyrical cleverness here, at least for now, is there's the idea too in Roman mythology, and you probably heard it used other places, the Elysian fields,
mhm,
which are where all the good people in Rome who died go. That's where Julius Caesar and Augustus all went and everything, and where their hero goes down to and visits the Elysian fields. So I mean, I can't help, but maybe because I'm biased, because I've heard that term so many times, that the fields, like the fields of Elysia, which would be Elysian fields,
mhm.
I don't think that that's by mistake here. And the fact these fields are quiet and loamy, I think is also um, of relevance.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that exact point up actually.
Oh,
So
beat you to
yeah,
it.
I don't think that you're off base with that one at all. And for the sleep token fans in the know who like I've like yeah, I just the imagery in this video I think
Hmm.
also like lends
Backs it up,
itself
yeah.
to that idea. So like
Totally.
if I
No,
I don't
totally.
know wherever in the video, let's
Hey,
see.
that's the Easter Island people.
Yeah, there's. I'm just kind of skipping around randomly.
There was like the red grass and then the green grass and the soft green leaves. There's a lot of
This
yeah.
stuff, this
Yeah.
right here, this stuff. Yeah, I think, I think, yes. There's some kind of like interesting word play going on there. I mean, it maybe it's not even that deep. I've looked into the etymology of these words, and
Mhm.
like, there's not there doesn't seem to be a connection, but I'm not sure about that. Like, I think
Between elation and Elysian?
yeah, between elatio, the Latin word,
Right.
and with the Greek word like elatium, something like that.
So
With
yeah.
so that like the etymology of like Elysium just goes back to the ancient Greek, and they're just like it's Greek and maybe some like Indo-European whatever thing before that, and then elatio is Latin, and it means like raised up or
Right.
celebrated, that kind of a thing. So you can be like elated in a heightened state of emotion, that sort of a thing.
Right.
But it just like the two concepts are so close and the words sound so similar.
Well, they
It's
are too, and we're talking about when we're talking about ideas of elation in the Latin, and it's become anglicized then after after King Arthur conquered Britain or whatever.
yeah.
Um, then like the idea that in Elysium, right, is I mean, we're in the underworld, and the underworld was never there wasn't really a hell for Greece, right?
Right.
I mean, you had Tartarus, but that was just where the super bad gods went.
Mm-hmm.
But like the underworld, you were just kind of there. It wasn't bad. And the idea of elation or rising up too, it's a very Christian or Western Christian sense. It comes from the Latin a lot of times. Like, yeah, I'm if you're like properly worshiping Jesus or whatever some people say, you become in an elated state. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're been risen up in the same way. So
Sure.
it's a very spiritual, very afterlifey feel to both those words. Whether or not they're etymologically related is I don't think relevant to the. I mean, it'd be a neat little connection if they were, but I think they're expressing the same kind of thing. I think also interesting too, though, is if you think of like fields of elation in the sense of the Latin word eladio, to
Mhm.
lift up, and to be ecstatic, like the contrast that with then quiet and loamy
Mhm.
is interesting because it's kind of not opposites, but they're not exactly, you would not presume after the word elation, quiet and loamy would be the next words in the sentence.
Yeah. Right. Well, it depends, I guess, on like how literally you take the translation of or that like
The translation of elation.
etymological root. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just
Because
elation in general. People say, "Oh, I'm elated to see you." You're not like, "Oh, I'm elated to see you."
right. Yeah. I mean, it just having it take on the meaning of just like generally very positive or something like that.
And not only positive, but like super excited. Like there's some energy there. Like
Right.
it's not just
Right.
like, "Oh, good day."
Yeah. Well, right.
Yeah.
But then because like it literally in the Latin means like to lift up. So that is in like the meeting, being raised up, like you said, some kind of a state of ecstasy, like
Mhm.
leaving the physical plane and moving upwards in some direction,
Right.
not necessarily meaning like an emotional heightenedness, but actually being like lifted up to another plane.
Yeah.
That's
Like actually, like, yeah,
yeah,
actually, yeah.
yeah. That's
Whether spiritually or body and soul or whatever. Yeah.
mhm,
No,
mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, we bastardized so many words in English today. Like the word awesome. Like
Mhm. Right.
that used to mean way better stuff.
Yeah, or way worse
Way
stuff.
worse stuff too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 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 Um.
And just one thing too is like the whole that you see the same kind of duality and again this kind of liminal space by um putting what would seem to be opposites in combination.
Mhm.
Like your name is a sin I breathe, like oxygen.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you said that to your girlfriend, would you get smacked? I don't know. Your name is a sin I breathe. She
I
might be
like it.
down with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's
Right.
not a normal combination of like affectation.
It's not, but it is like this thing about the name is recurrent. It's like all over the music, and
Hmm.
this is a thing in like ancient occultism and like Egyptian alchemy and all this stuff about
Hmm.
like the power that's in a name, especially when you're dealing with like demons and jinn and stuff like that. Like the way that you get out of the demon's curse or take control of demons to curse your enemies or whatever is by figuring out the demon's real name. And if you can
Hmm.
say the demon's real name, then
Yeah.
and which is kind of this is the tangent. I'll bring it back quickly, but
Okay, we'll bring it back. Then I have something to go off on.
yeah, yeah, like in when Moses meets Yahweh in the burning bush, and he's like, "Hey, uh, who should I tell the people is the God that's sending me?" And he's like, "Well, tell him I am that I am." And he gives him like this riddle of a name or
Hmm.
whatever, but it kind of
Nope.
like hints at okay. I mean, there's this whole other tradition, but like if you're looking at it in the context of like, well, he Moses was like raised in the house of the Pharaoh with the Egyptian sorcerers, and so he's like trying to subtly get in and like get control of this demon that's talking to him through this fiery bush, and he's like,
Right.
"Hey, what's your name, man?" And then it, like trick right back. Instead of telling you my name, I'm gonna give you this
Riddle.
unsolvable riddle that I
And you're
just.
like,
You're like, oh,
Moses, man, a little sus.
all right.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah, but
But
that's
no, absolutely. And that kind of goes to some of the answers in the interview actually you read out
mm,
is this whole I've been sent by a God named sleep, but his name does not mean sleep. It means he is the one who brings sleep, but that is not a word you humans may understand.
right.
You know,
Yeah, that's why I bring
it
up
fits it.
the tangent is because it's sort of
No,
like
absolutely. It's relevant.
yeah.
It's a relevant tangent. But to the power of names too, there, like you were talking about the Middle Eastern and like Arabic um like use of the name to call out demons and jinns and whatnot.
Mhm.
But in a lot of African tribes, the power of the name is again used to invoke and curse, not so much with supernatural entities, but with just like witchcraft and voodoo and like material
Mhm.
alchemical magic. And so there's like I think 23 tribes that James Frazier, look him up, he's a great read.
Mm.
in the Golden Bough, a study of mythology, talked about is there are some African tribes where whenever there's a new king appointed or who is in charge, as soon as he is risen to king, his name is stricken from the language.
Mm.
If anyone else speaks his name ever, they are to be killed,
Mm.
like on sight.
Mm.
And so, and then when he dies, no one else can ever be named that again.
Mm.
So it's like both protecting your king from bad stuff happening in the afterlife, since no one will be able to say his name, and also you do not say his name while he lives, or you are dead.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
just the idea that this kind of interesting concept to us people in 2026, like that's a neat little that Tower of Nine Demons, yeah. But like this was a very real reality to people who lived very real lives that meant life or death consequences
Mm-hmm.
from their cultural peers.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah. I mean, and so that provides even more context and weight to like the Ten Commandments and the not taking the name of God in vain and like why you couldn't write out the name of Yahweh and all
right.
that sort of stuff. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
No, absolutely. And like, yeah.
yeah,
And
so
even with the names of um the prophet, peace be upon him, and the Islamic deity, same thing. Like you better say it right, and you better say it respectfully, and you better give it the proper moniker.
right, right, yeah, and so I think all of that stuff it goes into this line that you pointed out. Your name is a sin I breathe like oxygen. Like to
Right.
say the name is a problem, but I have to.
Yeah.
And
It's
then the
life.
next line, caught in the
Mhm.
careless arms of lust again. There's this like sexual attraction between vessel and
Mhm.
sleep or something like that.
Well, and this taking in, like how do we breathe oxygen? We breathe in, it fills our lungs, it runs through us.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you could look at the act of breathing almost like a possession, if you will, like not like
Sure.
object, but like a demonic possession or a possession by something outside of yourself. And so, if like there's just so many really interesting metaphors that are combined by the language here, just kind of, I mean, and it's all gesturing towards something,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And it's yeah, it's very
Right. Yeah. And so, I mean, my take on this song to just kind of like
oh yeah.
sum up, I'm,
Mhm.
I'm not the words professional, but I do words too.
You're pretty
Um,
good with them.
yeah, thanks. Um, but like the idea here is that his vessel is in some kind of state of suffering and is trying to connect with
Mhm.
sleep in order to make this ascension into the fields of elation, like to get to that the paradise, paradisical plane or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
And then I don't know what to make of the end. I'm losing my faith
right.
in our lives apart. Um,
I mean, I mean, the really easy way to take that, right, is just like I'm losing my faith that I can't be without you. I'm losing our faith that we can't be united. Like you take me to the fields of Elysium, I breathe you like oxygen. Like I need you, I need you,
okay,
but not so sappy.
that works.
I mean,
That works
I'm
for
losing
me.
our faith. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. Is like, okay, we've had the one encounter in Thread the Needle.
Hmm.
Now we're here, and I realize I can either experience some ecstasy or be out of this misery and pain I'm in when you're around. So, like, we better, instead of losing my faith in you or losing my faith in that you exist, I'm losing the faith that I could be apart from you.
Yeah.
Kind of
Okay.
flips that whole
Right.
deity belief thing on its head.
Yeah. Okay. That
That's
that
my
makes
take.
that makes sense. I mean, that's more or less how I was kind of taking it, but um, yeah, I didn't have like a clear way of expressing it. That makes sense to me. So I'll go with that for now.
We'll take it.
All right. Okay. So anything else to say about the words? Because I would like to just sort of listen through bit by bit and just kind of point out stuff that I like
All right, do it.
in the music.
No, dude, no. I think I've the words. I think I'm good on the words.
Okay, cool. All right. So, yeah, I'll just kind of start it over and then pause and talk when I think something cool happens.
Perfect. I'll be here.
Cool.
The Daylight recedes in unison. This room buries the eyes like dead in motion. Nobody else can pull me out. Fields of elation, quiet and lonely.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, right off the bat, that kind of sets, the tone for the whole song. There, with all the transitions in this song, not all of them maybe, but most of them, there's some element of like a reverse reverb happening. You're kind of like it gives it this interdimensional, like ethereal kind of a feeling to it. Like even beyond, it's just got this big ambient spatial kind of everything sounds like it's in a big church or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But like at the very start of the song, the first notes like fade in backwards, and a lot of the transitions. It's kind of like in the first song, we went and had this like experience, met the deity, and then just like wake up back in reality, kind of we're back where we started, sort of a thing. I don't know, maybe reading too much into it, but it's
Well, just can you describe maybe what you
one
mean by
Yeah.
when you say fade in backwards?
Yeah.
Does that
Well-
mean it comes in loud and then goes lower, or what is that?
No, so I'm gonna play the start of the song again, and then
Yeah.
so we can just listen for what
So
I
we can
mean.
all understand what fade in backwards means.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to.
That.
Oh.
Okay, so it's
Boom,
like
boom.
yeah, it is literally like we played a note, and then in our digital software we reversed it so that instead of when you play a note normally, you get this
Louder
spike
part first.
at the
and then, yeah.
beginning, and then it fades out. This starts with the resonant part that's fading out, and it comes in reverse. And at the point when the first note on the guitar clear note happens is the exact moment when that first note actually
Stops.
lands.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I understand. Now, thank you.
Yeah. So I know fade in backwards sounds like an oxymoron.
No, it sounds like a great name for a punk band.
Yeah. And then so that does it. Yeah, okay, that could work. Yeah, and then in this part there's just this like light guitar arpeggio, and arpeggio, here's another word that like gets tossed around a lot. So short version of that. Okay. In music, when you play more than one note at a time, it's called a harmony or a chord. This song is in the key of D flat. So like this is our that's an E flat chord. That sounded wrong because it was wrong. This is our key, D flat. And so when I play all those notes together, it's a chord. If I play them one at a time, that's an arpeggio. So that we can have a couple of contrasting terms to kind of help define each other. So a chord is when multiple notes happen at once. An arpeggio is when you split a chord up into individual notes. A scale is like what we talked about when I was defining a key earlier, but the difference between an arpeggio and a scale, because they both happen one note at a time, is a scale is an arrangement of close notes. These notes are all right next to each other. With an arpeggio, the notes are typically going to be spaced out, kind of skipped.
Because they're part of the chord.
Yes, because they're part of the chord. But we haven't talked about how chords are made, so that's...
When a mommy note and a daddy note love each other very much.
Basically, that's how you get chords.
That's a good chord.
Yeah. Okay, so we were somewhere kind of in this area, maybe? Yeah.
Your name is a sin I breathe like oxygen.
Okay, so just before it gets into that next section, is
Mhm.
this is like a production thing. So shout out George Lever. Um, he's not only doing all this ambient stuff with all the reverbs and like who knows who has the creative say so, and like it's probably Vessel and George and two and whoever all kind of deciding this together. I don't know,
Sure.
but um, he does really interesting stuff with panning sounds in this song. So you can hear it in this section when the drums come in.
Hmm.
There are these like short, choked off cymbal sounds that are bouncing around between right
Each year.
and left
Yeah.
ear, but they're
Hmm.
they're not like really upfront distracting in like the texture of the music. They're way
Hmm.
off in the back and very like all the high frequency and low frequencies have been cut out of them. So they're like really kind of mid-rangey and sitting way over here, like out far to the sides and just bouncing back and
Hmm.
forth. It just makes everything sound even bigger
Bigger.
as it kind of starts bringing up the bottom end drive of the song. The drums come in, you get
Hmm.
lower frequencies with the like bass synth stuff that's going on.
Yeah, those mid-range cymbals kind of do add to like not only like the space, but like the space is the cosmos kind of like it adds this kind of weird cosmic vibe,
Yeah.
like in the good way.
Hmm. In a good way.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right. So I'm just gonna skip to the middle of that verse and just kind of keep going.
Lost arms of lost again. Nobody.
I said cymbal. That's kind of what it sounded like, but now I'm hearing it
Snare.
again. Yeah, it's like a really, really highly processed snare drum. Yeah. But
I
all,
heard there's something that has cymbals though
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. I mean, some of the hits might be cymbals, but the one that's happened that we just heard a few times
What
was
snare?
that was yeah
Yeah.
snare drum, which is interesting to hear snare drum panned around like that because usually in a drum mix the snare drum sits right in the middle, and
Right.
it's kind of like the driving along with the kick drum, the bass drum, and the snare drum sit right in the middle of the mix. So having the snare drum bounce around like that is pretty cool.
Yeah, and you kind of get the way they did the video too at that point in time. I was watching while you were playing was it almost and they had the cloud rolling with the like the lightning or whatever. It almost sounds like very distant thunder too, like
Mm.
not like in the way this it was like,
Yeah, no, I'll watch the video this time too, so I
okay, cool.
can.
Lost arms of lost again. Nobody else can pull me out. The fields of elation quiet and love me.
Yeah. Okay. So like there again, there's another like reverse tone. Like in this case,
Yeah.
it's that ramp up of it's like a synthesized tone. But what I noticed listening to it now in headphones, because usually I'm like in
Mhm.
my car or whatever.
And
Uh,
don't wear headphones when you're driving your car,
don't
kids.
do that. Don't do that. Like when that tone sweeps up and it gets up to like the higher pitch
Hmm.
range, you can hear harmonics coming off of it also. Like, which here's another.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, it's good.
um,
This one should be pretty easy.
maybe. So
At beginner level.
yeah. At every sound that gets made in nature produces a fundamental pitch, and above that there are harmonics ringing. And the combination of the fundamental pitch and the harmonics give the sound its character, its tone, color. We use in music, we use the French word timbre or timbre if you're American.
Or Tiambre. Wait,
Yeah,
that's different.
or timbre if you read it.
Yeah.
Timbre. Anyways, so it's the combination of the harmonics and the fundamental that really allow you. It's what our brain uses to interpret, is this a piano or a trumpet or a human voice or someone whacking
Hmm.
sticks together or whatever. Those all produce harmonics that we learn to interpret and define where the sound what the sound source is. um
So is
but
that is a way to say that like what the sound sounds like to us?
yeah, sure, we can
Okay.
we could do that. Yeah.
Okay. Carry on
um
though.
Thanks. So if you have a pretty harmonically simple sound, like in this case, that synthesizer sound, that it almost sounds like a sine wave, which is a sine wave is a fundamental pitch that has
Now
no
we're in math
that
class.
has no harmonics.
Right.
So yeah, it looks like, yes, like a sine
Sine curve.
curve, but
Yeah.
yes. So when you take that fundamental pitch and you um, run it up in pitch, if it is not just a sine wave, you're gonna also push up the harmonics. And sometimes when you change the pitch range of an instrument like that, you can hear those harmonics sliding, and so you can. Most of the time, we're not aware that we're hearing harmonics. We're just interpreting them to define the sound source. But
Right, but like the higher so I guess
yeah.
if I can
Mhm.
try to gather what you're saying. So if there's a pitch that's not a simple sine wave, it's a complex pitch that has all their harmonics coming with it,
Yeah.
and you kind of ramp it up the sound wave, right?
Hmm.
Ramp it up the amplitude or whatever, the way that it slid this one pitch up, right?
Hmm.
Like some of the harmonics are going to start like flying off of it, man, more readily discernible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I
you can
mean,
hear them better the more you run it up.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
And better than just me trying to define this in words, let me just see if I can just show you harmonics.
Look, he plays guitar too, ladies.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Chill. So I'm playing this note on this string. The strongest part of the sound that we're hearing is the fundamental, and it's got harmonics in it. And I can choose to split out those harmonics. Okay, so there I'm targeting these harmonics now, but if I
Hmm.
get the harmonics to speak while I move, so you can kind of hear that sound and then these
Hmm.
other notes that are coming out of above the fundamental. Right? Okay.
Hmm.
So in this song, as that pitch slides up and it gets into the higher range, those harmonics start to come out of it. Adds like
Right.
a really cool sound that I like more than just that. Okay, we're getting another sort of like backwards fade into the next section that really helps um strengthen that downbeat when the heavy
Yeah.
guitars come in and everything, and all the filters come off of the drums, and you finally get like the full band.
So do
Um,
you think that one could, doing like studio processing and whatnot, like take those harmonics that are coming off of it and kind of isolate those and then amplify them more than they would normally be with a normal
yeah,
slide?
you could do that. It also just depends on like if you match up like a filter move, like an if you're cutting out frequencies with
Hmm.
some kind of a tool, and you match up the move of that tool so that you're cutting out less frequencies at the same time as the pitch is sliding
It's
up,
going to
it's going to
accentuate it more. Okay.
emphasize that point where the cutoff on the filter is, and you might get more harmonics coming out there. I'm just kind of spitballing, but yeah, there are
No, it's fine.
definitely ways
Yeah.
to do that for sure, for sure.
So it
Um,
sounds like that the harmonics, like you were saying, were so like distinct in that particular move
mhm.
that I was just curious if this guy could have maybe done
I
something to magnify it even more, or is that natural even?
it Yeah, I don't know. It could be something that was in there naturally,
Hmm.
and he heard it and decided to bring it out, or maybe he just already had the idea and just, yeah, don't know.
It's still awesome, anyways.
Yeah, either way, you get same result. Um, okay, so just like a couple other things, and then we
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
kind of move on. So let's see. Yeah, okay.
Mm.
So I love that transition right there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it like it goes so far,
Yeah.
it borders on being cheesy, but it puts all of those things that I've been talking about together in one transition where you're getting this panning thing happening at the same time as it's fading in.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes to this like really low tuned guitar note
Mm-hmm.
playing this like this offbeat, metal riff, and I just love it. I mean, I don't have anything else to really say except
It's
it's
like
just
those. It's like those hideous looking puppy dogs that everybody says are so cute because they're hideous.
that. Sure, we could do.
I mean, I don't
It's
know. I
just,
mean, play it again. I mean, I
it's
like the way it sounds. I couldn't tell it was almost cheesy. It sounded good to me. So,
yeah. I mean, it's just like how far they take like all these different production tools. Like you've heard them so far. So, well, what are we gonna do next? Well, we'll just put them all together in this one spot. And I think they nail it, and it's really cool. But I could also understand if someone thinks it's like a little too far. But I love it. So, yeah, one more time.
Losing my faith in our lives apart.
I think the way the mask is here at the end on the lines we were talking about before,
Yeah.
kind of drives home our interpretation of him too, and at least what they were interpreting him as.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I think we got we got somewhere with that. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think also one last thing to say about the Elysian Fields, at least,
Hmm.
is that as far as the Romans believed, um, like they had this weird kind of idea of reincarnation, at least by the time Virgil was writing the Aeneid, they did, was that you could go, so if you were a good warrior, you'd go back down and basically have your memory wiped if you were a good Roman, and you'd come back as even a better, like a more famous, even better Roman.
Hmm.
So like even though Aeneas, who's like the Odysseus, like he's like the guy who goes to the underworld in
Yeah.
every mythology, he's the Roman one.
Hmm.
He goes down there and he just gets to come out. Like he's not dead. He gets to go down and see his dad who died and see Caesar Augustus when he's about to come up to the real world
Hmm.
and then leaves out. But the Elysian Fields are also a place where people are like, um, it's happy while you're there. It's great, but also if you were really super good, you could get your memory wiped and come back up and be even a better Roman, like a more famous, more powerful Roman in another life.
Oh, interesting.
Which is odd to think of that like Western philosophy and Romans especially had a notion that was like very similar to incarnation,
Yeah.
although it was merit based. It wasn't like
Huh.
you could be a Chihuahua and then a broccoli and then a rock or whatever.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was not aware of that aspect of the Elysian Fields, Elysium thing. I mostly
Hmm.
just the like the Greek version is what I yeah. Okay. Very cool. That actually might be relevant for
It might be.
yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I think if I say anything else about it, it's just gonna get more and more nerdy and analytical. So probably better just to move on.
We reached the nerd threshold.
We we have arrived. Okay. Next one. Okay. So this one does not have a music video. It just
Okay.
this is just the album art
It's
for
just a picture of the album cover.
yeah.
She'll
Um
do.
right. Now, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself with this, but
Hmm.
you mentioned Fraser. Was it
Yeah.
James George Fraser or George James Fraser? I
Sir
can't.
James. Sir James
Sir
Fraser.
James Fraser.
Sir James.
Um, and so he's most well known for his giant set of tomes,
The
the
golden
Golden
his
Bough.
19 volumes of the Golden Bough.
Yeah, and this I think is partially in reference to that main the myth
Hmm.
that that title references, not myth or it's
Yeah,
practice.
yeah.
It is a myth, but it's also a thing, is a real
It's
thing.
also real.
Um, and so
So yeah, you want to oh, go ahead.
yeah, so the next song is called "When the Bow Breaks,"
Bow breaks.
and so I mean, there's this well-known children's lullaby.
Oh,
It,
poor baby.
poor baby. That's the Itsy Bitsy Spider, right? When the
I think
bow
it's what
breaks,
the baby will fall down a
from the
cradle,
cradle,
baby and
baby.
all,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and the spider with it.
Right. So it's this kind of like scary, almost violent reference to falling asleep
Hmm.
in the um like in the children's lullaby, but
Hmm.
then also this reference to this um ritual involving like the changing of the guard for the high priest of Artemis or whatever.
Well, yeah, and also the changing for the pathway to the underworld. So actually, in the Aeneid as well, the Cumaean Sibyl,
Hmm.
go figure, that lady's everywhere. She's a prophetess who lived at the island of Cumae.
Yeah.
She's like, if anybody's seen like the 300, like for the Greeks, the Oracle at Delphi
Hmm.
was like the best oracle.
Yeah.
Like if you had arguments with other oracles who were breeding the chicken gizzards in the bowl you burnt wrong, you go to the oracle at Delphi to clarify.
Yeah.
And then but so the command symbol was kind of like the highest of the seven symbols and was the prophetess you would go to because she was also the guardian of the underworld.
Mhm.
And so the way that Aeneas gets to go to the underworld is he has to go first complete a quest to collect the golden bough. And then he has to find, and it's on an adjacent island, and he actually has to have the goddess Diana um, come down and help him get it. And she's his mom anyway, so she's glad to help him out, because otherwise he would never have gotten it. Would have been killed and eaten by monsters and wolves. So, long story short, he gets the golden bough, and he can't walk into the underworld. Like his mortal flesh could not be allowed to be in the underworld unless he's carrying the golden bough.
Mm. Hmm.
And he
Hmm.
kind of yeah. So that's
Right.
another ritual. But and the reason that Fraser titled the body of work the Golden Bough is because this golden bough, a golden tree branch, appears in mythologies across basically the entire world.
Uh huh.
The most well-known one, the one people might be familiar with, is Aeneas using it to get into the afterlife. But there are all around the Mediterranean into Southeast Asia, there are myths and or rituals that use a golden bough to signify a changing of state, to signify either one person retiring or being relieved of his post and carrying on to the next part of his life, or to you know, if, um, if someone has died and you want to make sure that they have go on to the good underworld as opposed to the bad underworld, the golden bough used. If you want to bring back dead ancestors, golden bough. So all these things to cross life and death, to cross who's the one in charge. golden boughs are highly frequent in those
Hmm.
rituals and myths.
Mm-hmm. And can
I mean,
you
go
remind
ahead.
me, like in the Greek version of
Mhm.
like the ritual that like how the high priest gets changed over, like someone has to sneak into the temple grounds past the guards, find the tree in the center,
Mhm.
break the branch
Yep.
off of it, and then fight the current priest to the death or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All
But the
right.
priests won't fight anybody unless they have the golden bough.
Right.
And then if they, which seems odd from the way we look at it, we're like, oh, you're not going to fight me? Okay, good. I'll just fight you. But that doesn't work that way because they used to have honor back in the day.
Right.
So, but yeah, the only way the priest who's guarding the temple will take on a challenger is if the challenger's already completed the task of getting the golden bough.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, an interesting thing too is we can see this kind of same thing, but not the golden bough by this point in Arthurian myth in England.
Mm.
The idea of the hero's quest, you have to go to the temple, and there's a riddle there too. Is that you have to answer the temple guardians the knight, and you have to he's going to ask you some questions. One is what is the name of the king, and then he has to ask you what is the nature of the king's affliction.
Mm.
And the thing is, the king didn't tell you the nature of his affliction because he got a wound in his groin. And so the knight has to go on other quests to figure out what the nature of the king's affliction is,
Mm-hmm.
and only then can he go back to the Chapel Perilous and fight the guardian of the temple.
Okay.
And then apparently magically when he does that, the king's healed and the land comes back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole thing about the reason for the quest and the reason for a lot of these myths that require this kind of getting the golden bough and defeating the guardian of the temple
Mm-hmm.
is because there's been a wasting of the land. Like
Right.
there's babies are being born dead, the cattle are all dying of disease, the crops are failing, and so it's all kind of and it's again this very like revitalization cycle,
Yeah.
whether it's people or whether it's the entire earth around us
Mm-hmm.
that this kind of speaks to.
Yeah. So it's part of that like death and rebirth thing that like the you were kind of referencing. I mean, in a different way, but a different type of like rebirth.
Well, not real. I
And
mean, it's also like the idea. I mean, sort of a different type of rebirth, but really is like the idea that we need the gods to help make this land not go to hell in a handbasket. If we don't have the gods' blessing, we need to do something for them.
right,
So we need to communicate with them. So we need to figure out what the hell it is they want.
right, right.
And so the idea of communicating with a deity, be they Artemis or Sleep or whomever,
Mm-hmm.
right, in order to get the knowledge we need to fix the land that we've done dirty, is
Hmm.
part of the whole thing too.
All right. So it seems
Hmm.
to me that either we are just like attaching all kinds of random stuff to this, or
We're on to something.
Sleep Token knows a thing or two about ancient mythology. And
He went to a British school.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think that is plenty to get us
I think it's more than enough, actually.
started for when the bow breaks. So I'll just put the pretty art up in the middle. We can look at the needles and
Hmm.
the the branch, the bow with the flowers. Okay.
Flower,
All right.
flower bow.
Here our song is hopefully.
You can stay alive. Just tell me that you notice. Even in the dark, the way I left you breathing. Sometimes when we touch,
listen all the way through this time.
I find this one's pretty long, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, let's chop it.
Cool. So, um, as far as just like music stuff goes, I guess I'll just start.
Right. Go
okay,
ahead.
yeah. I'm already there. So there's some like really interesting and I think effective production choices being made here. Like aside from just, I love it's just like a acapella vocal arrangement of these really like I mean not straightforward but like almost stark but very beautiful kinds of harmonies. Then every once in a while this more complex harmony creeps in. So it, my ear, I'm listening and trying to figure out how many voices are singing, and it's like 3 or 4, and then sometimes that note comes in and it's definitely 4 right there, and then it all kind of fades back into this wash of texture and like this use of reverb. And I don't think I need to define necessarily what reverb is, but we're using like
We already used it before, so we're good.
effects, to add this sense of space to it. But in this case, there's also this like shimmer effect added on top of that. It's like, so like as the reverb starts to fade out, it turns into these like sparkly, metallic-y, shimmery sounds. And so like it's extra ethereal. And most of the music that we hear these days is when there are multiple voices singing, everything is very carefully edited so that all of the pronunciation of consonants, S's and T's and D's and all that stuff line up perfectly. And in this case, with all these voices and all of this reverb, they've intentionally let them unalign. And so there's these, it makes the space sound even bigger because you've got all of these consonants bouncing around in between all of these really long multi-voice harmonies that are going on. And it sounds huge, even though it's just voice. It's just, 4 Vessel singing along with himself.
4 vessels, but it also sounds like too, yeah, the ethereal quality, this like wide space. It almost sounds like people sing like in a cathedral too, almost.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Right. Yes. Agreed. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say so far.
Okay, cool.
Anything you wanted to say about the words before I start it over?
I think I'm good with the lyrics for now. They're pretty
cool.
Pretty what they are.
Just enough, even when we're out with death, we can be released, flowing over sorrow days. We can stay suspended, even when the bell breaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is one of those moments where I just love it. So in that line, we can stay suspended even when the bow breaks. This is one of those moments where this other voice comes in and just adds something really special to what's going on. And in this case, it's almost like a blues lick or something like that.
Okay.
So let's see if I can. It's like, let's see, what key are we in? Yeah, so it comes in with wee, and it's singing. He's singing. This is another thing we haven't talked about yet, but Vessel has this like incredible vocal range, and so
Yeah, he's good.
yeah. This particular thing that I'm trying to point out. He's singing in his head voice. Some people call the head voice falsetto voice. There's not a consistent terminology, but it's like if you want to experience it for yourself, try to talk like Mickey Mouse. That's that high pitched voice, a little squeaky. So he's singing up here in this range, and this is like it goes. Yeah, we can stay suspended right there, and then it goes. Even when the bow break, it does that little bluesy slide. So that's what to listen out for. We take another swing at this just to kind of see if we can hear.
You bet.
Even when the bell breaks, sometimes when we touch everything we love.
I'm gonna back it up just a little more and take another
Go
run
ahead.
at it because I didn't quite
No, go ahead.
nail that.
We can stay suspended. Even when the bell breaks, sometimes when we touch everything we love resists. It's only just enough, even when we run with death.
Cool. And then right there, that
Mhm.
transition is handled masterfully. Like
Okay.
they take advantage of that crazy texture they've created with all these vocal layers and reverb and all that stuff so that on the line to only just enough, this like synthesizer or maybe heavily processed guitar comes in and blends right in with the vocal line and follows like the lower voice of the vocal line so that in this like instrumental thing that happens right after this, the voices drop out and the guitar is just already there.
Already there, almost. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very cool. It comes in really subtly, and it's so subtle that it might even be happening on the line before that, and I just can't tell the difference between the voices. Like the timbre of the voices and the timbre of the instrument are so similar. They're so like masterfully matched together that you almost can't tell them apart.
So that's when the voices stop and you hear the guitar only, but it's been there all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love.
Super awesome.
Sometimes when we touch everything we love resists. It's only just enough, even when we run with
Another reverse fade
sorry, you're fine. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No, I'm just so the lyrics here too, right? So just to just go back to what we're saying, the water into blood, right? It's not just like biblical in the 10 plagues. That's part of the part of a lot of the curses or the affliction of the land that the golden bough needs to heal or the hero needs to go on a quest to fix.
Mm.
For the first one in recorded mythology is Oedipus in Sophocles' Oedipus Rex.
Mm.
Before he goes and kills his dad and screws his mom or whatever, he gets to be the king of Thebes by coming to the town, and there's the Sphinx has taken over the town, and part of the Sphinx's curse is that all the cattle are dying, the babies are being born stillborn, all the crops are failing, all the water is turned to blood, and he has to go answer the Sphinx's riddle to solve the thing, and then all the bad stuff happens to him.
Wow.
But yeah, so he's like the quest hero, and this is another thing. Um, Oh, Golden Bough is not specifically involved in Oedipus, but the riddle and the naming is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I think one of his professors at Oxford or whatever made him read Sophocles, I'm guessing.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for that. Because I had wondered about how to tie that line in. I love it. And I, was pulling from the various, The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
That's a great. That's the best mummy.
Right. Where the.
But no, yeah. Well, the thing too is like, there's also kind of a turn here, right? Is that everything we touched is almost like, okay, like I'm working with this like deity, right? But is it a curse or a blessing? Like there's some stuff happening here that there might be some unintended consequences or side effects to this medication.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And then the line, "You don't really love, you just hate to be alone." It's like,
right.
I'm getting the sense right off the bat that you're just using me for this.
Exactly. You're just using me for my human form
Right.
to
Yeah.
spread your plagues across the lands or what have you.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, no, it's in the conflict in the speaker's like mind that you can see developing throughout the song is really deep.
Hmm. Hmm. I love it. I love it.
Love it.
Went back a little far.
It's okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I just think like there's one part that musically
Hmm,
before we get into the last two like heavy breakdowns,
yeah.
there's one it sounds like one single guitar string being plucked and reverbed through the middle of all the heavy stuff. Like it's like one note that's like it's like riding through everything, and it's like
Um,
if you go back, um,
I'll just
it,
put.
it's not there at the end, but yeah, if you go back to
Is it like it's
uh,
before the heavy parts, or?
it's before it's during the first heavy part, I want to say.
Oh, okay, okay.
Everything we touch turns to
Oh, sorry,
blood.
but after all the lyrics,
After all the lyrics, okay, got it.
after all the lyrics, but in the we're getting to the first ba 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 bum.
Okay.
That's my musical talent for the day.
I mean, that's the last part, so maybe I went too far.
Wait, that why didn't you hear it then? Did you? Was that the end of it?
Yeah,
That
that
wasn't the end of the song.
that's the last heavy. That's the very end. That's the outro.
Oh, then you've been. Wait, what?
Hold
I
on.
did not hallucinate that sound. That one, like, dun, dun, dun.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that I mean, it's kind of buried in the texture.
It's definitely buried.
There's actually two notes.
Oh, okay.
It's I think it's that.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yes, it.
Yeah, I think.
It's just like all this.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like, where'd that little guy just show up from?
Yeah. So this was actually interesting trying to figure out what was going on, um, musically here.
Mhm.
So let's see. If I'm in the right spot. We got. Okay, so I don't know if this guitar is in tune or not, but the whole song has been in the key of A major,
Okay.
so it's all
Sounds just like that.
right, very pretty and stuff.
Mhm.
And then here it just like suddenly drops into you don't really know at first what it's doing. It just goes
Right.
to this like all of that, which the notes for anyone who cares are B, A sharp, G, and D. B, A sharp,
Okay.
which are not the notes in A sharp in A major.
No,
Okay,
no, they're not.
and it's really hard if you just have those notes to deal with to figure out like what is happening.
Key you could possibly in.
But if you
Yeah.
add in those two notes that are buried in the texture,
Oh, really?
then it's B harmonic minor. It becomes this.
That's hilarious.
It becomes that.
Or
Yeah. So
that's genius.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I was actually like, I was like, oh, good job, guys. That's
So that's like the
nice.
little key to the puzzle of those two little guys in the middle.
Yeah, Yeah.
That's really neat.
Uh-huh. It's pretty cool. And then like the going on to the next part that
Yeah.
made sense like it because it drops out and does this piano thing with
Hmm.
this like polyrhythm thing. Polyrhythm meaning multiple rhythms at once.
Yeah.
So we've been going along in this like driving rhythm, and then it goes to this thing where the chords are changing every 3 beats. It goes da 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 da
Right.
da on the piano part, and then it comes in and the guitar does a really similar thing to what like the chord motion in the piano part is,
Hmm.
and that's all over like a B harmonic minor structure. But it does this like what but like distorted like
There we go.
something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then at the end they're just like screw everything.
Like you just break it all down.
Like that
Yeah, I
which
love
has
it.
nothing to do with any of the other stuff. It's just like
Like, we're a metal band. We're doing this now.
yeah, basically it's just the notes G and F, which G and F sharp,
Hey.
G and F sharp. I mean, which
Yeah.
on an 8 string guitar, if it's tuned to standard 8 string guitar tuning,
Mhm.
that's just the lowest 2 notes on the instrument.
Oh, okay. Well, just as low as you can go.
Yeah, it's just the first fret on the fattest string, and then the fattest string open. Like that's the riff. It's da, da. Yeah,
Like, how dark can we get? No,
right.
it's
Well,
the thing too is like I think composition wise for the not only the song but the whole EP, right?
uh-huh.
Is that you have elements of um the first two of Thread the Needle that kind of come back in at the close of this one,
Yeah,
which I think is but both like this the instruments that are being used, the keys there or the notes they're playing, as well as some of the rhythmics at the end. It kind of takes you back to some of the things at the harder parts of Thread the Needle, I thought.
yeah. It's a similar trajectory, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean a way to close up an album, harkening back to the first bit, I
Yeah.
think is like brilliant musically and just theoretically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. That this,
Um,
yeah, that's why I like
Go
it.
ahead. No.
No, that
Oh
that's
yeah, yeah. Well, many a reason.
right.
But one thing I think is I just wanted the last thing I just noticed in the lyrics that might be relevant to some extent,
Yeah,
just to reinforce our argument,
sure.
is we have the everything we touch turns water into blood, and there's no other we's. It's all you,
Right.
you. And so the idea there, I mean, I can, you kind of get the story here of like, okay, sleep or the artist formerly known as sleep or the deity formerly known as sleep.
Yeah.
Um, I like after coming off the field, not Elysian Fields, but the Elysian Fields song,
Mm-hmm.
Elation Fields, Fields of
Fields of
Elation.
elation. Yeah.
Um, yeah, potato, tomato. Um, where we're kind of in the most okay, uplifting thing. Like, okay, the first experience with sleep was kind of creepy, kind of I don't know, but I kind of liked it. And now the Elysian Fields, everything. Okay, okay, this works better. I hate to not be with you. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're like, okay, now I'm with you, and some crazy shit's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it,
Right.
but
Yeah.
here we are.
Right. Right.
And
With it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so now we're kind of maybe like, can't really say no anymore, but we're kind of like also worrying about the consequences and the possible future consequences, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how I read it. That. Yeah.
Me too, which is
Yeah.
brilliant.
Right. Brilliant.
Brilliant, sir.
Well done. Yeah. I don't
So I
know.
think
I think that's
That's what we got for one.
I think that's what we got for one.
Next time, whenever that might be, we'll be doing two.
That's the plan. So
Well, we can't do three.
we can't. We can
Doesn't exist
make
yet.
our own.
It
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun for me.
was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. I didn't realize we'd go so long, but I'm glad we did. Had a blast every minute of it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. So next time we'll see if we can be just as professional or maybe even more. And
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
hard to beat our level of professionality just now, but we'll strive to.
We'll do what we can. All right,
I
man.
like these next songs a lot too.
Yeah, me too. I think it just as good as one is, it just gets better from here on out.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So
I mean, I don't know. I've also like one has grown on me a lot over the past several months. It was
Thread the Needle grew on me a lot today, actually.
yeah.
I kind of was like, okay, it's good, but how good is it? And now I'm like, fuck, it's pretty good.
Oh, dang it. Yeah. Yo.
But
Right.
all right, bro. Hey, it's been a pleasure working with you.
Likewise.
We'll sign off the live.
All right. Thanks everybody who may one day watch this. Hopefully, we have
Hopefully.
many other videos to you to watch if you enjoy it.
I hope so we get eventually some live chatters in here who can be like, hey assholes, get back to the music. Or we don't care about the poetry. Let the other guy talk. Or like, can you cover this part? What does this mean?
Yeah.
Like some interaction would be helpful because
That would be nice.
happy to share what limited knowledge we have.
Right. So if you're seeing this after the live stream is finished, which is how that's gonna go, I guess.
Probably likely because I don't think anybody saw it during live. I don't know. I haven't checked our stats.
They should be able to comment and stuff, so we could go back.
Oh yeah,
and
so
like, start the conversation that way. So that would be cool.
Yeah. What did we do? What did we do poorly? What did we do well? What would you like to see?
Yeah.
Us do more of or less of?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress, so let us know.
Or what the hell's a fret? Like whatever you want to put it in the comments.
Anything. Well, not anything, but most things.
Well, yeah, anything.
We'll
I've
try
thick skin.
anything and we'll filter it down from there.
Yeah, I think YouTube might filter some stuff out,
Right.
and the police might show up at your house.
Yeah.
So death threats, do them at your own risk.
That's yeah.
So
Sounds good.
all right.
All right. Stream ending.